Good morning. It is Taco Tuesday. How is everybody feeling? I know Uli's excited. She could eat tacos 4 times a day. Just there. Said, man, haven't heard that name in a long time. Well, I'm going to do what I don't like to do, a case comparison. Now, what really brought me into, I'm going to do a little personal bio for you. Okay, we're going to go back in time here with your old buddy Brooks. And if you're new here, raise your hand. Yep, we're going back in time.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. What's this? What's this?
I have a feeling that is TCB's favorite movie. Cat OG is new here, and the show has been going on for 2 minutes. And look, just like that, she's already a member and has a wrench. You know, only in America where dreams come true. Look at that. 2 minutes. In 2 minutes. Walking Dead is new every day. I love it. I love it. Okay, so little story in time. All right, I started a little group just for, friends and family to shoot the shit about true crime. It's called Crime Lines and Lies. Very stupid name. I came up with it in about 30 seconds just for a Facebook group. Well, people started coming in and coming in and coming in and coming in, and then they wanted to talk about certain cases. We had a group for Breasia Terrell. We had one for Sierra Rod. I can't even tell you. We had one for a woman that was killed by her boyfriend in Washington. My brain is not working. I'm just telling you, we had tons of different groups. It was hard to, juggle them all. Then a post was made in the Facebook group. This was in August of 2020 about a girl named Sophie Long. Okay, now I'm telling you, this will connect to the case we're talking about today, which, by the way, has been solved. Due diligence was done. The children are safe. All will be well. And it came along with a very disturbing video. And I noticed that a majority of everybody was like, I would kill that boyfriend. I would kill the mom. Oh my God, poor Sophie. And I thought, yes, poor Sophie. Something about the video seemed coached to me. So I started a group called Saving Sophie from Michael. And a few people came in, and I noticed they were just listening. They weren't posting. And it was mainly me talking about parental coaching. Yes, she's in trouble. Yes, there's something going on. Yes, this is a very toxic co-parenting relationship. This is horrible. And what is happening to Kelly Long, I promise this will correlate, I said is damn right criminal. This is horrible. This is horrible. If she is not in cuffs right now, then there's something more going on. If the boyfriend is not in cuffs right now, there is something going on. Okay? He did not want to lose his daughter, and it wasn't so much about how much he loved Sophie. It was about power over Kelly. Okay, this is a man that was trying to rewrite the Bible. This is a man that was talking to rocks. We found out later that the whole video was scripted and produced, because I kept thinking, how come this video is like 5 minutes long, but it starts in the afternoon and ends in the evening? Michael was crazy. Well, so is this guy. Okay, this is the man that claimed that his ex, they have 2 children together, was letting their 2 sons be sexually molested, I'll just say, and more, but it was being filmed for profit on the internet. Well, everybody would think this is easy enough to solve. We have Homeland Security, we have FBI, we have all this. Nada, nothing. And also no forensics on the children. But still, they have to do their due diligence because the children were sticking to their story. This was Thanksgiving of 2023. And when they were not returned back to, okay, let me try to pronounce her name, Walcuria. Okay, I'm just going to call her Wally Cassini. She filed kidnapping charges. Police explained to her, this is what the kids are saying that's going on in the house. And he said, they're probably making it up because they're having fun at dad's and don't want to come home. The kids stuck to their story. Okay, then they arrest Wally, her son, Matthew Cassini, and her boyfriend, Ryan Londano. All right? Nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. It is a case of parental alienation. That's exactly what it is. My face fell off when I was reading this the other night. I sat up. I was like, I'm going to send this to Susan because she's going to shit a brick. Matter of fact, just me. You see her in here. Like I said, I was just slamming that group. Saving Sophie from Michael. Saving Sophie from Michael. Saving Sophie from Michael. And I just kept putting all these articles in. Parental alienation. Parental alienation. Parental alienation. Then Michael goes really off the rails. He's got a GoFundMe. $250,000 he raised. He had an Amazon wish list. Christmas. Things for Sophie. I get this post. And I was allowing posts to support Michael. I want both sides, okay? Matter of fact, Michael tried to join the group several times. So I get this post one day from a woman named Susan. And it said, I get so sick of these people putting up a damn GoFundMe before they do anything for their kids. And I was like, we're going to be friends for a long time. Speaking of friends, thank you so much, my friend Ange, for gifting that Crime Lines and Lies membership. Let's welcome everybody because we're friends. All right, some of you asked, do you still have that group? Sure do. But now it is called The Long Hoax. You see, your buddy Brooks didn't have a YouTube channel at the time, didn't want one, but I knew more heat needed to be on Michael Long back in 2020, back in time. And Michael had plenty of help. He had the glare. He had, who's that guy? Dad something. I can't remember. Annie Elise. Annie Elise was almost sued by Kelly Long. I know a lot of people are huge Annie Elise fans, but I'm just telling you, she almost got that woman killed. Okay? I'm sure she's changed her ways. She's made her penance. Dad bod, that was it. Annie Elise, Dad bod, the glare. So I was in a couple of groups for a woman named Critical K. Karen Yaks. Now, she's no more on the internet for other reasons. And I had put something in her group that, Sophie has been coached. Well, she jumped all over it. She came into the group, made her an admin, and she was like, I don't think we should have a picture up of Sophie or use her name. So I changed it to The Long Hoax because it's a hoax. Okay? It is. He totally coached her. And this dude, it's one of the cruelest things you can do to a child. He coached his two boys. And I don't know who put this on Instagram, but it wasn't Wally. because I'm friends with her on Facebook now. I hope you're listening, Wally. Wally, you're a hero. You're a warrior. Okay, Wally? We stand with Wally. I don't know who put this on Insta, but it says, imagine being this dude sitting in court and listening how freaky your wife used to be. He was bringing out how their sex life went and everything. Well, I mean, I'm not a lesbian. I've got to leave that up to the lesbians, but I could see wanting to get freaky with this woman. She's damn gorgeous, okay? But this dude is toxic. All right. West Palm Beach, Florida, Boca Raton, to be more correct. A mother that was once charged with live streaming sex acts with her own children is speaking publicly this week, actually last week, since prosecutors dismissed the case, saying she was the victim of a devastating lie. Oh, she was. She lost everything. She was on house arrest for 2 years, lost her job, and she had a really good job as a sonogram person, a sonographer. Wally, her boyfriend Ryan, and their son Matthew, and her son, not Ryan's, and her son Matthew Cassini were arrested and jailed in 2024, early 2024, okay? Because remember, the accusations were made Thanksgiving of 2023, and the kids stuck to their story in every interview. All right? Now, in this time, they're still not finding any digital, but they have to go into the deep web. Okay? That takes a long time. Not only did they dismiss all charges, she was what Brian Koberger used to talk about, exonerated. She was exonerated. Ryan was exonerated. Her son was exonerated. She said, I had no idea why they were tying me to all these things, Cassini told the news investigation reporter. It was very scary to not know. You know, not knowing is what worries us. Okay? Defense attorney Mackenzie Sachs said Cassini endured nearly 2 years of house arrest in hearings before the state attorney's office dropped every charge. After nearly 2 years of litigation, the office of the state attorney has dismissed all of the charges against her client because there's no evidence to support the allegations. Now you're going to ask, where are the children? Where are the children? Where are the 2 boys? Well, I'm going to do a case comparison, even though I hate to. When Sophie was found in Mexico with Michael, and they brought him back because, yes, he kidnapped her. Things weren't going Michael's way. Now, this is in the Michael Long case. They didn't just immediately return her to Kelly. Why? Because she had to go to like a special, I'm going to say place, where they have to basically deprogram the kids. You see, these kids have been coached and programmed that these horrific things have really happened to them. And to this day, they probably still believe it. So they have to tell them, you didn't lie. You were coached. You know, your dad probably made you. I mean, I don't know how they do it. And so they need a lot of therapy, and then they're going to be slowly reintroduced to their mom. Slowly reintroduced. This is horrible. Okay, this is horrible. They were subjected to a campaign of brainwashing that separated them from their mother and distorted their sense of reality. It began in November 2023 when Cassini's ex refused to return the boys from a Thanksgiving visit. She threatened to file kidnapping charges and did call the police in Ocala to help locate her children. Body cam footage, which is not available, from responding deputies even shows officers doubting the children's claims. It is said in the body cam footage from the officer, He said, I'm going to be honest with you. It's possible the kids are just lying about this because they want to stay with their dad, one deputy's heard saying. Defense attorneys also accused the lead Palm Beach County Sheriff's detective of fabricating details in the arrest report. Because let me tell you, the probable cause affidavit is scary. Scary. From the start, because of sensational allegations, this investigation was driven by hysteria and confirmation bias and not evidence. Whoa. Despite extensive searches by the FBI, Sheriff's Office, including analyzing 56 electronics DNA in the family's home, investigators found no evidence tying any of the defendants to the alleged crimes. Not only that, they found out there was never a crime. Never a crime. Cassini said the experience cost her everything: job, reputation, and even her 2 boys. It was devastating. She said, I went from being a mom to nothing. Now she said her only focus is rebuilding her life and regaining custody of her sons. There are a lot of people who could have helped vindicate us way earlier, Cassini said. None of that happened. Well, girlfriend, I didn't know. I didn't know. Or I promise I'd have been there. I took on the biggest parental alienator this planet has ever seen, and his name is Michael Long. I'm telling you, if you know of someone that's a victim of parental alienation, you hit up your old buddy Brooks. You hit up your old buddy Brooks. I'm going to figure it out. I'm not just going to I'm on the kid's side. Okay, I'm on the kids' side. But I know that kids can be coached. Attorneys said questions remain about how such explosive but unfounded allegations led to criminal charges and why it took nearly 2 years to clear their names. They declined to comment on whether they will pursue charges against the ex-boyfriend, as in the father of the children. Don't think for a minute with what all this cost and what it cost her, what it cost her boyfriend, Ryan, that was arrested, what it cost her son, Matthew, that was, part of this, even though didn't do anything. With all of that, they're going to figure out something to charge him with. I mean, they put Michael Long in jail for 2 years for all this, and not just for kidnapping. When Parker tried to contact him during the investigation, he did not return her calls. Well, that happens. So let's go back to the beginning. Get a little idea of what happened here. Why is that not on? It's because of this. There. And I messed something up. Where's I need a producer. Where's Kat? She needs to quit her job. Okay, look at this with me. This is from WPTV, not my content.
This week, 3 people in Palm Beach County were arrested and accused of sexual crimes against children. The acts allegedly recorded and posted online.
And this is not the first child sexual abuse case that WPTV has reported on this month. Investigator Jessica Bruno digging into some of the data surrounding these crimes.
The details inside these probable cause affidavits are so disturbing. We're not sharing the specifics, but each of the cases involve young.
They are. They are. And what's more disturbing is that everything in that probable cause came from her little boys. And all of this was programmed into their head. All of this was programmed into their head. Captain Napton, she knows all about parental alienation. I'm so glad you're here. I would love for you to grab the link. Thank you for correcting me. No, Michael was never held accountable for anything else, only kidnapping. And I'm afraid this dude in Boca Raton, I'm just going to say Florida because I'm not sure exactly what area he's in, same thing's going to happen. I'm really afraid. Again, yes, the probable cause is disturbing, but everything came from her 2 sons.
Children.
Sexual abuse has been around forever. The CDC has declared it a public health crisis.
Which is why Sherry Ben Joseph works with the Stay Kids Safe program, which is part of the Center for Child Counseling in Palm Beach County, providing sexual abuse prevention and education resources for children.
The world has gotten a little bit more complex, or a lot more complex, with the onslaught of social media and AI and all of these issues. Our children need life skills, and they are different than the life skills that we were taught perhaps growing up.
Just this week, 3 people, Matthew and Walkira Cassini and Ryan Londano, were arrested by the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office on.
What is this bitch babbling about? No one's talking about life skills and AI and shit. We're talking about 2 little boys saying they were forced to perform sex acts while their older brother filmed it. Their mother allowed it, and their mom's boyfriend Ryan was either performing or telling them what to do. This isn't about life skills. This was programmed in their head. You know, these people, they drive me insane. And I don't have goddamn far to go, as you know.
Sexual battery against children charges. The probable cause affidavit alleges the acts were posted online and says it went on for 5 years. The investigation involves child protection investigators from several law enforcement agencies, including the FBI. Then last week, Ashley Marie Lynch was arrested for, quote, possession of sexual performance by a child on her lost phone, which was found and discovered by a local bartender. And in a third unrelated case in early February,
this is where the water gets cloudy. You see, we hear about so many of these cases that we instantly go from 0 to 100, like, oh my God. Then when I'm gonna use totally different case. I'm gonna use Michael Vaughn for an example. Okay? The parents did it. The parents did it. The parents did it. The parents did it. Nothing pointed at that, but people wouldn't get off of it. Now, had I seen this case, I would have been like, whoa, this doesn't sound probable at all. And I would have been in hot water like Michael Long. And then, well, here we are. That's what really, it hit me in the gut when she said we didn't have anyone to advocate for us. Well, that's True Crime Beat's fault. This is her neck of the woods. So if she ever says anything to me, I'm going to say, well, you know, Shannon's territory is Florida. So sorry. Hey, love you, True Crime Beat.
a South Tech English teacher was arrested and accused of committing sexual crimes against one of his underage students.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carolina Meza is a therapist with a program in Palm Beach County called Safety Net, which educates parents and caretakers on how to spot signs of abuse among children.
Some signs.
Okay, just remember, there was no signs of abuse on these two boys. Nothing. And I don't want to go into the exams they do on children when these accusations are made. They can be, especially on a girl, they can be very invasive, traumatic. On boys, I'm sure exactly they have to look at, things that, are very uncomfortable for them. Okay, very. And this man put his two boys through that for his hatred of his ex. He did. He hated this woman so bad that he put his children through all that. So what they're talking about here doesn't apply.
That there is abuse is usually anything that disrupts functioning. There's this switch, right? There's a change in their function.
Ooh, question from the chat. At Crime Lines and Lies, I always felt like Courtney played a huge role in Went Down. I thought about inviting Courtney up here, But that would make me a hypocrite because I think Courtney should be in jail. Okay? She wanted me and several people to help her get a lifetime protective order against Michael Long. And I just thought, lady, what you did to Sophie and the way you enjoyed that $250,000 and always had new clothes on from the Amazon list, I just don't have it in my heart, you know? Okay, Captain Napton goes on to say, does his dad have a Courtney in his life? Well, just like Michael, he's got a few. He's got a few, my friends. He's got a few. And they're real fucking winners.
Things.
According to data from FDLE, there were 10,645 forcible sex offenses in the state in 2020, which is the most recent data available. That data includes victims of all ages, but does not specify prevalence among age groups. And there are currently 2,184 registered sex offenders in Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River counties combined. Reasons why Sherry says education and having open conversations is so important.
Okay, shut up. We're not talking about that right now. That is apples and oranges. That is apples and oranges. The only conversation that douchewad had with those two little boys was coaching and rewiring. Now, I'm going to ask you a personal question. You don't have to get personal. You can come up if you want. Just leave names out of it. Has anyone ever been a victim of parental alienation? Do you know someone that has been? Because after Michael Long, I can see it from a mile away. I can see it from a mile away. And as much as my ex used to get under my skin and make my blood boil, I damn sure made sure to invite him to every birthday party. If he wants to watch the boys open their Christmas gifts, we just worked everything out. Everything. I couldn't imagine being so have so full of hate against your ex that you would do that to your children. Remember, they are not with either parent right now. This lie has turned their life upside down. They may never believe that they truly weren't essayed. Okay? They may never truly believe it. So I know when people ask, oh, I have to cancel with our mom, Rex. Rex, it's her mom. She must have really done it then, Rex, because the kids aren't with their mom. How? These kids might really think that these things happen to them. I don't even know what kind of therapy a kid would have to tell them, hey, not only were you lied to, you lied. You didn't know you were lying because you were brainwashed, but you lied to the police. You lied to the judge. You lied to CPS. You lied to child forensic psychologists. You lied to doctors. You lied to nurses. You lied to lawyers. That's something they're going to have to live with for the rest of their life. And the internet's forever. One day they're going to pull up their mother's name and they're going to see everything she went through. But on the flip side, they're going to see everything she did to fight for her children. And this is where I say, Wally, you're a warrior. Can we please have a round of applause for Wally? Hey, PG's little girl is in here, Lola, and I saw a lot of people saying, yep, I've been through it. Now, you know me. I always say if I had it my way, well, here you go. If I had it my way, parental alienation would be a crime, okay? It would be a crime. It is child abuse. No matter how you flip the pancake, It is child abuse on each side. Parental alienation, lying to a child about their parent, making them hate their parent, which in turn makes them hate a part of themselves. They resent something inside of them because they know the person that mom or dad is talking about helped make them. It is one of the cruelest things you can do to a human being. And this is what happened to Wally Cassini's two little boys. It is not talked about. Some people roll their eyes, but I'm telling you, if you know of a case of parental alienation, come to mama. Come to mama. I'm telling you, between me and all the amazing people in here, we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll raise some hell. Okay?
Tone mother charged with child sexual battery was in court today to get the conditions of her house arrest changed. Well, Kyria Cassini and her boyfriend are accused of live streaming two young boys. Investigative reporter
Two young boys live streaming two young boys. They had to call in Homeland Security because they couldn't find anything, and these boys wouldn't stop. They were like, no, this happened. This happened. Okay, so people say, well, if they can't find anything, Brooks, why don't they just drop it then? Why don't just drop it then? Let's name all the cases where a child wasn't believed and the child should have been believed. Name all the cases where CPS closed the folder and said, you're good, we'll check back in a few weeks. And the abuse went through the roof. Let's look at Gabriel Fernandez. Look at that. Now I'm in the minority here, but I will die on this hill. East LA, little Latino boy. They really didn't care. Okay? They really didn't care. Now, when I say that, YouTube kind of gives me a spanking, but I'm kind of getting kinky in my old age. Your old buddy Brooks is kind of liking those spankings.
Terry Parker joining us now with today's developments. Terry.
While Kyria Cassini's lawyers say she is a victim of a twisted revenge plot by her ex-boyfriend, that he's the one who brainwashed the children into their horrific allegations. And
we'll come back to that. Joanne said, my ex-husband alienated my son from me. You know what? It's a crime. It is mental abuse and it's a crime. PG's little girl said, Brooks, that reminds me and thinking about the Wells boys. Bingo. People say in the show all the time, I know the boys are going to talk. I know the boys are going to talk. Parental coaching is what that is. Okay? You had both shitty Dawn and shitty Candace in their ears, and they're not going to crack. Nope. They are brainwashed. Maybe not now, but they were at the time. And what happened to this woman and her sons and her boyfriend and how they stuck together, I'll never know. And her son, whoa.
The one who brainwashed the children into their horrific allegations. And tonight, the Boca Raton mom is trying to get a job while she awaits trial. While Kyria Cassini has either been in jail or on house arrest since March.
Walkyria. Okay. Walkyria. That's a gorgeous name, Walkyria.
While Kyria Cassini has either been in jail or on house arrest since March, accused of sexually abusing two young boys and live streaming it for paying customers. Thursday, her lawyers argued once again there is no physical evidence against her and she should have her house arrest modified. This is what her attorneys told me in the beginning.
There has been nothing to corroborate what's alleged in the probable cause affidavit in terms of direct evidence, social media evidence, live streaming evidence, all the horrific allegations.
Cassini, her boyfriend Ryan Londano, and her adult son Matthew Cassini were all charged after a months-long investigation by the FBI and police. The boys giving graphic testimony about the alleged abuse. But the trio's lawyers say it was all made up. The boys brainwashed by Cassini's ex-boyfriend, who was angry she'd evicted him and started dating Londano.
She evicted him. Evicted him. I love that. Didn't break up. She evicted him. So she said, bye, loser. I got a good job, and I'm going to date this guy. She evicted him. So he started this. Okay? I think we can see how this escalator worked. She evicted him, and then all this started. And the ex-boyfriend, was angry. I love that.
Who was angry, she'd evicted him and started dating Londano. Lawyer Heidi Perlette again telling the judge there's still been no DNA evidence or any online visual evidence of the alleged taping and streaming. Cassini lost her job as an ultrasound tech and said she was selling her house to pay for her defense. Thursday, the judge agreed she could travel to apply for jobs and she can have contact with her son Matthew, but the judge did not grant her other requests for now.
Well, her other requests were simple. Okay, she was put on house arrest, and I imagine there are some people that did not hear this, did not put themselves in her shoes, did not think about the relationship with their ex. They were laser focused on tripods and SA. Okay? Now I'm going to go to the case of Madeline Soto. It didn't take them long, even with an accidentally factory restored phone, to find horrible pictures of Madeline. But since the boys kept sticking to their story, they had to dig deeper and deeper and deeper into the deep web. You know, like all these breaking news channels do deep dives. They were like, these boys aren't going to stop. They are sticking to their story. We got to bring in like the Jodi Arias people, you know, that went through the damn camera, that got washed in the washing machine. And it's not like they don't have other cases. I know that's hard to say because they think that everything should be on the front burner. Well, it's not. I wish we had DoorDash justice, but we don't.
And she can have contact with her son Matthew, but the judge did not grant her other requests for now. So, no evidence so far of live stream sex on any of the platforms the state has subpoenaed. Prosecutors say, though, objects found in the house are being tested for the boys' DNA right now. And they say someone in the house did delete some files from an online website called motherless.com the day the investigation began. Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.
I don't know what motherless.com is, but it doesn't seem to have anything to do with it, obviously. I don't know what it is, so I can't say. All right, again, back in time. This is from the same news channel. Again, I don't work there. Boca Raton mom, while Curia Cassini is victim of twisted plot revenge. Could you just imagine the last couple of years for her? Having to go through this? She had to have been seething. But she's such a warrior. Her heart was torn out. She knew she didn't do these things. She knew her boyfriend didn't do these things. She knew her son wouldn't even think of these. This is crazy.
Now to a WPBF 25 News exclusive. One day before a court hearing, the lawyers for a Boca Raton mother accused of live streaming the sexual abuse of two children revealed their defense. They say it never happened.
The lawyers for Walkiria Cassini believe she's a victim of a twisted revenge plot. Investigative reporter Terry Parker first broke the story of her arrest.
Terry is here with us. The lawyers will argue that their case in court tomorrow, trying to get her out on bond. Terry?
Right, Todd, and it will be interesting to see what happens because the allegations in this case are so horrible. The first judge said they were the worst he'd ever heard, but now the attorneys say something equally awful is happening. They claim the allegations are all made up by a disgruntled ex-partner who brainwashed the children.
Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? A crazy, toxic, jealous ex who got evicted from his home by this hottie, which he knows he could never get another one of those. He orchestrated this plan. And it worked because these three got arrested and their whole lives were ripped out from under them. Look at this. Florida mom, her son and her boyfriend allegedly molested children on live stream for money. Live stream. Live to where? Certainly not here. God.
Claim the allegations are all made up by a disgruntled ex-partner who brainwashed the children. This is Valkyria Cassini, a former ultrasound technician before she was arrested in March, charged with repeatedly sexually abusing two young boys on camera, live, for paying audiences.
Yeah, the defense is it did not happen. The defense is these are absolutely false allegations.
Attorneys Mark Scheiner and Heidi Perlette say they have no doubt their client Cassini is the victim of a revenge plot so devious it boggles the mind.
The motive is revenge for a man who could not live without this woman and made veiled threats for the last several years that he was going to put her in jail for child abuse.
Cassini's lawyers say Cassini evicted her former partner from her Boca Raton home in 2021, and then she started dating.
Sorry, there is nothing funny about this, but every time I hear that in the court record, she evicted the loser to start dating, a better dude, and then he started this plot. Evicted. I love that. That's the new breakup term, okay? All right, you heard it here. Okay, y'all? You heard it here. That's the new term. We don't break up. We evict. Okay? Evicted.
Ryan Londano, an IT tech. And that's when they claim Cassini's ex began brainwashing the two boys and turning them against her.
He said a number of times to a number of family members that he was going to accuse her falsely of sexually molesting the children. And he wanted to come back in the house and he wanted to reunite and be a family again.
The FBI.
Hold on. He told her let me listen to that again. I missed that the first couple of times. He told her he was going to do that to get back in the house. So he's a bum. He's a bum. He's a Michael Long bum. He is a Michael Long bum. He's always got to have a woman to take care of him. And it didn't take him long to find one and find another place to, to lay down.
He said a number of times to a number of family members that he was going to accuse her falsely of sexually molesting the children. And he wanted to come back in the house and he wanted to reunite and be a family again.
The FBI and sheriff's detectives investigated Cassini, Londano, and Cassini's adult son Matthew for 4 months, raiding the house and charging them all with horrific crimes. But Scheiner and Perlette say there's no real proof.
There has been nothing to corroborate what's alleged in the probable cause affidavit in terms of direct evidence, social media evidence, live streaming evidence, all the horrific allegations.
The arrest affidavit says the day after they began the investigation, someone whose name is redacted erased 33 videos off the Motherless website, which advertises it is a moral-free zone. Cassini's lawyers say what's more telling is the children allegedly refused any medical exams.
Where's the DNA? Where's the proof? Where's the physical evidence? There's zero in this case.
I did call the ex-partner who now lives in Ocala with his mother. He did not return my calls. I did speak.
Who now lives in Ocala with his mother. Okay? Anyone that followed the Michael Long case, listen, we can sniff a loser anywhere. Lives in Ocala now with his mother.
Briefly to his mother, and when I told her what Cassini's lawyers say about him making up these allegations, she laughed. She says she would tell her son and his lawyer, but wouldn't give me the name of the lawyer. Cassini's bond hearing is tomorrow afternoon, and I will be in court to bring you all that happens.
He didn't have a lawyer. Mama lied. Okay? All right? Mama lied. You know the song, Mama Tried, Mama Tried? Well, there needs to be a song, Mama Lied. Mama lied. Because mamas will lie to protect their children. Don't tell me we don't. I've walked straight into schools knowing I'm getting to defend my son for shit I know he did. I'm so sick of these adult-ass parents lying for their adult-ass kids. Skylar, what is up, honeymoon girl? What's up?
He was just 2 weeks out from trial when the state attorney's office dismissed her case, citing new evidence, a decision she tells me she's waited an agonizing 2 years for.
3 people in Palm Beach County were arrested and accused of sexual crimes.
It was a case that shocked the public in March of 2024, when then 38-year-old Walkiria Cassini, her fiance Ryan Lindano, and her then 20-year-old son Matthew were arrested.
Skylar said, we do, just like we mamas know exactly what our children are capable of. Exactly. And when they're little boys and little girls, get into teenagers, we're going to defend our children. But when they need to live with us, and I can just imagine what a great roommate this dude is at his mama's house. I mean, he's going to be like Eric Cartman sitting on his mama's couch. Mom, give me some more cheese puffs. Mom, get the phone. I'm sure she had a great time with her roommate. Because, well, he knew at mama's he wouldn't get evicted.
Then 38-year-old Walkiria Cassini, her fiance Ryan Lindano, and her then 20-year-old son Matthew were arrested, accused of sexually abusing Cassini's own sons. The arrest affidavit WPTV obtained at the time included graphic allegations, too disturbing to fully detail, claiming all 3 were live streaming the sexual abuse for financial gain over the course of 5 years.
After nearly 2 years of litigation, the Office of the State Attorney at Palm Beach County has dismissed all of the charges against our client.
In a press conference Friday, Cassini and her attorneys announced her exoneration. A day earlier, the state attorney's office filed this document dismissing her case.
They're leaving out a key word. They keep saying dismissing her case. There's a huge difference between a dismissal and a full-on exoneration. Exoneration is forget it. It never happened. Erased. Gone. When you go to get a job, you were exonerated. Zero. It's done.
Exoneration. A day earlier, the state attorney's office filed this document.
Null pro se for sexual battery on person less than 12, sexual battery with a child, familiar or custodial. Same charge, then lewd or lascivious molestation. During the pendency of this case, new information was brought to the state's attention that requires dismissal of these charges. After a thorough and extensive review of all evidence presented to the state and further discussions with law enforcement agencies that investigated this case, all are in agreement that the state no longer has good faith basis to proceed. Yeah.
Dismissing her case, citing new information brought to the state's attention.
I'm a little shell-shocked. It's one of those things we've been waiting for a really, really long time.
I sat down with Cassini, her fiance, and her son just before the press conference. All 3 were facing possible life sentences. I first met Cassini 2 days before that, when she told me she wanted to break her silence.
You've been silent for 2 years. Why speak about this now?
Well, it's my chance to let the world know what happened. I love my children. I would never, ever hurt them. That did not happen in my home. Like I said, I am innocent.
Cassini and her attorneys say the sexual abuse allegations began as a bitter custody dispute over Thanksgiving of 2023. She says the father of her 2 children never returned them after the holiday, despite promising to.
I didn't even know where they were.
Texts shared with WPTV show Cassini messaging her ex dozens of times, November 26th, asking where her children were and threatening to call police. Her messages went unanswered until the next day when she called 911. This body camera footage, the night of November 27th, shows Marion County deputies responding to her ex's home in Ocala after he reported her.
Yeah, my son's finally, opened up to me. There's been some things going on there.
But hours after that, around 1 a.m. November 28th, body camera footage shows Palm Beach County deputies on the phone with Marion County, questioning his claims.
Questioning his claims. Listen, they hear shit every day. They hear the truth every day. They know the difference. I love that. Calling the other one saying, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Listen to this douchebag again.
Texts shared with WPTV show Cassini messaging her ex dozens of times November 26th, asking where her children were and threatening to call police. Her messages went unanswered until the next day when she called 911. This body camera footage the night of November 27th shows Marion County deputies responding to her ex's home in Ocala after he reported her.
Yeah, my son's finally, I guess, opened up to me. There's been some things going on there.
But hours after that, around 1 a.m. November 28th, body camera footage shows Palm Beach County deputies on the phone with Marion County, questioning his claims.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's possible that the kids are just lying about this because they want to stay with Dad.
Yeah.
Because Dad isn't witness to any of this. And this was reported to him 2 days ago, but he didn't call us till tonight.
Body camera video then shows deputies talking to Cassini, who says that's when she learned her kids were found.
That my ex had just said that I sexually abused them. And that's kind of where the whole thing started.
Months later, she was arrested, facing 4 counts of sexual assault. The arresting detective claimed she found sex toys, suspicious payments, and an adult website account tied to Cassini's IP address, with files deleted the day after the investigation began.
The police report, the probable cause affidavit, is extremely misleading.
In this motion, Cassini's attorneys accused the detective of fabricating evidence, saying the website never had accounts linked to Cassini. The sex toys were
The sex toys were probably, I'm just going to say hers. You know, she played with her boyfriend. And, you know, the dum-dums don't realize it. Just because something's on someone's computer doesn't mean they were the ones using it. You know what I mean? They're like, it wasn't linked to her.
The day after the investigation began.
The police report, the probable cause affidavit, is extremely misleading.
In this motion, Cassini's attorneys accused the detective of fabricating evidence, saying the website never had accounts linked to Cassini. The sex toys were unrelated, and the FBI found no child exploitation material on any of her 56 devices. I reached out to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, who confirmed to me that detective is now the subject of an internal affairs investigation. Cassini.
Good. Because he's afraid with public pressure and everyone wanting her head on a platter that he has to come up with something. And all he had was a website not even linked to her. So good. He's going to lose his pension. Internal affairs is not cool. Not cool.
His attorneys also point out that children and their father refused medical exams.
We really feel like they are victims here of the manipulation.
In dismissing the case, prosecutors agreed, saying after reviewing digital evidence, depositions, and witnesses, the state no longer has a good faith basis to proceed.
Relieved, happy, obviously. But I'm also like a little sad too, because you think about this day forever, since the day I got arrested, like what it would be like do the kids come running through the door? Like I kept imagining myself in a courtroom and then they'd give me the not guilty and my kids would come. But that's not what happens here.
Cassini is now fighting to reunite with her children still in their father's custody. We've reached out to him for comment and still haven't heard back. Reporting in Palm Beach County, I'm Kate Hussey, WPTV News.
Okay. Now, her reputation will always have a stain on it. Sorry. That's just how people are. Okay? They're always going to be like, I don't know, she probably really did it. But, she's getting her life back on track. There wasn't really anything she could do under house arrest. Not quite sure how she made a living, but I'm sure it was total hell. Now I'm going to relate another case. Okay? I don't like doing case comparisons, but this is the kind of nutbags we're talking about. I'm going to go back to 2020. A man named Michael Long that convinced his daughter that she had been sexually abused by her mother's boyfriend, Jake. It became so intense that the police in Frisco, Texas had to put her mother and her 2 younger brothers and her grandma into protective custody at a hotel. These are the type of nutbags we're talking about. Okay, this is Michael Long, knowing that he put all this stuff into his daughter's head, Sophie, and my understanding is she's where she needs to be now, and she understands what happened. She understands now. You know, I just hope that that girl, who I think is 15 now, I think she turned 15 in September. Captain Nampton would know better. I just hope she doesn't feel any guilt. Okay? And I hope these boys don't feel any guilt. But this is the type of monsters we're talking about. Now, you're going to see a lot of similarities between him and Mr. sitting on his mom's couch in Ocala. This is Michael Long. And he has had, I can't tell you how many girlfriends since all this happened. He's got a new one now. Matter of fact, he was in some sort of stream. Let me find it. He's claiming Sophie is dead. Hold on. Actually, I'm going to start playing this and then I'll find it. Give you all something to listen to while I do what I should have already done.
Okay, cool earlier. I don't know that one. I don't know how to play it. All right, let's see. All right, guys. So, oh, you're gonna play music? Oh, I see how it goes. Oh my gosh, it's the entry music in honor of Sophie. All right, I think we'll probably get started. I don't want to keep you guys too much because I know that it's probably late. Well, then again, who knows? If you're in the UK, it's morning, isn't it? Is it morning in the UK?
Either that or really late.
Hey, you're like, wait, I don't even know.
I don't think they ever go to sleep in the UK anyway, so they kind of go all night.
When I go to London, your time zone switches so fast. It's awesome. Okay, cool. So let's go. I want to tell you guys a couple things that happened. Some really, really positive stuff. Let's start there because I know that there's a lot of emotion around this whole situation, and everybody has a ton of questions about some things that we're just not sure about. So we certainly don't want to come to y'all and say, yeah, we have this inkling or that inkling, and there's a lot of misinformation going around, and I get it. But if we don't know...
He's such a douche. This is Michael Long, the one that convinced his daughter Sophie that she had been horribly abused by her mother's boyfriend, Jake. Now listen, Jake's no prize. Okay, I'm not saying that he's a perfect person, but he didn't do any of that. He did not do any of that. She actually agreed to the medical exams, whereas Walquira, Wally, her sons did not. Did not. Well, there's a reason for that, because they knew deep down inside nothing had happened to them. I mean, that's the truth. Sophie went through countless SANE exams, and I would need a nurse to explain what a SANE exam is. You know what? Watch the movie Accused, The Accused with Jodie Foster. It's basically the same. It's basically a rape exam, but this is on a little girl.
I would rather not tell people. So, first and foremost, probably the most important.
Y'all check on Susan because she's getting horny. Susan thinks Michael Long is hot. Whew.
Important thing, we have secured legal counsel. And when I say we've secured legal counsel, I mean we've secured 6 awesome lawyers from 2 different firms that are ready to really walk into this situation and find some remedies. Lead counsel is Jamie Graham. She's amazing, awesome person, super connected with.
She was doing it for the money because you had tons of money pouring in. You had $250,000. And after you and Courtney, talking to Michael Long, after the 2 of you got done blowing through it, your attorneys went bye-bye because you had no more money. And people were starting to figure out that you were lying. Slowly but surely they were.
I felt like she understood us. She understood why we've been doing this in the first place, and I don't know. It was really refreshing. So a lot of you know, I have studied Reiki for quite some time, and Reiki, if you're not familiar with it, is an Eastern healing practice that came over here a number of years back through Japan. And I did it at a time when I was kind of going through a growth period, and somebody recommended it, and I went into it, and it was very interesting to me. And
Okay, Betty, I'm sorry. Okay, this is a totally different case. I'm comparing parental alienation cases. This is Michael Long, who also programmed, brainwashed his daughter, Sophie, into telling authorities that her mother's boyfriend sexually abused her. Just like the case out of Boca Raton. And it was finally the mom, her boyfriend, and her son were exonerated. Well, the same thing happened with the Sophie Long case, because some of these parents will brainwash their kids into hating the other parents. And sometimes it gets so bad that they make accusations that'll put a parent behind bars. And it's not true.
kind of pursued it, but it was held against.
We always believe the children. We always believe the victims. But sometimes they're not telling the truth. Something's going on, but it's not that. And that the boys in Boca Raton had going on is a crazy daddy. Okay? That Sophie had going on was a crazy daddy. Here he is.
Against me a lot in courtrooms even. So when we met Jamie, it was pretty awesome. I mean, she's a cancer survivor. She's tough. She's smart, and we connect on that level too, because she also is a practitioner. So it's that was good. We have so she's lead counsel. Second of Sarah Ann.
Let's get through your attorneys. We got it.
Really great conversation with Sergeant Higgins, and I want that to be clear, because it's one thing to hold people accountable. It's another thing to also give credit where credit's due. And Sergeant Higgins called me personally. We had a great conversation. He's helping make sure that the proper thing is done for the situation that occurred. And so we're going to work together and make sure that that's taken care of. And he was really generous in offering guidance.
Off topic, Cinnamon Hot Hot. Oh, never mind. That's your YouTube name. Huh, never mind. Your real name's not Cinnamon Hot Hot. I was just thinking, when I was in school, high school particularly, there was a lot of spice names. We had a girl named Cinnamon. One of my best friends' name was Pepper. There was lots of Gingers, Baileys, Sages. It kind of made you wonder if moms are just going through the baby book going, yeah, it's not going to work. And they went to the spice cabinet. Beautiful names, though.
If there's anything else that we need, because it's something that, quite frankly, we haven't gotten along the way. And I think that's, exposing another issue with this whole process is that, parent or parents get into a situation like this and they don't know what resource to turn to. And I know that there are resources out there, but you don't always know where to find them. And that's kind of led to some conversations that
You don't know where to find them. You hit 911 and say, this has happened to my daughter. But his resource was coaching his daughter into making a very viral video where she is saying these horrible things happened to her and brainwashed her into believing them. Just like the dude in Boca Raton did after he got evicted from his girlfriend's house. So he's bumming it out on the streets. He don't have no one to suck off it anymore. Because remember, she's got the good job. He's the bum. They have 2 children together. Their resource is convincing their children to go along with this.
Sad lately too. If there might be ways that we could organize kind of resource areas for if there's parents that are showing up that are saying, hey, I was in a similar situation and I need some help with this or that. I just so many amazing folks out there that are doing great work, and it's really confusing though if you're in a bad situation, you don't know which way to turn. So let's see here. How's this thing working? Oh wow.
Can someone put in my parental alienation playlist? There's a video in there from 2020 that really explains the Michael Long case.
Oh, I'm a cat? I didn't mean to be a cat.
Come on, dumbass.
Secure in that. And especially since, honestly, along the way, I haven't felt like, how do I say this nicely? I haven't felt like necessarily what certain people say and what's reality is always congruent. So it's not enough for me for just have a blanket statement saying that the kids are safe at all. You can't tell me my kids are safe for a week and not disclose where they're at to me and just expect me to just accept that. I don't accept that. And that's directly to the Frisco PD. I don't accept that answer. And I don't know who is in charge of this or what you're doing, but if the rumors are true about how you're actually protecting them right now, I hope you super reevaluate that quickly, because it's the closest thing I heard to sounding like it was the truth was completely inadequate.
Okay, listen to how he talks. He's creepy as hell. Now, at this point, he had a ton of people that were harassing Kelly, going to her work, doing things to her house, and they had to put her in protective custody. So they kept her and the children safe from her. Holly S. No, Chris McDonough was not involved in this.
But I want to know more than just they're safe. Why should I believe you? I want to know more than that. And I think as a father, I deserve to know more than that.
Is it possible for you to get the kids back after court tomorrow?
I don't know. And I'm kind of leaving that up to Jamie at this point because there's a lot to sort out. There's a lot of things that have been turned into court, a lot of pleadings. Jamie and her team have had to sort through so many documents. Confusing documents too at that, because they're the way they were filed and when they were filed and why they were filed and by who they were filed. And whose opinion went into why they were filed all plays into it too, because there's been some changes, especially with Rachel Lee standing down.
Did the lawyers say anything about the gag order? Are you still under a gag order, or is anybody able to fight that tomorrow?
I never agreed to a gag order.
That would really matter in a civil case.
There was a gag order. Kelly stuck to it. He said, I never agreed to a gag order. Okay, so be it. That's not exactly what they were asking. What they're not asking what he agreed to. Okay. There's a gag order. He is creepy. So listen to what he says again.
There's a lot of things that have been turned into court, a lot of pleadings. Jamie and her team have had to sort through so many documents. Confusing documents too.
They shouldn't be confusing. They shouldn't be confusing. They know there is absolutely zero DNA. Zero DNA. Now then, the authorities figured it out. Pretty much everyone figured it out. But Michael had an entire, and we'll do a separate show to recap the Michael Long case. But much like the Cassini case, everything got thrown out. But he took it to a different level. He kidnapped his child. And if you want, we'll do a separate show. I promise we will. Okay, hold on. He kidnapped Sophie, and this is what happened.
10-year-old who was reported missing earlier this year has been found in a foreign country, and is set to return home to her family in the United States, according to law enforcement authorities. According to the Collin County Sheriff's Office, Sophie Long is now in protective custody after she was reported missing earlier this year and feared to be kidnapped by her father, Michael Long, who is now in police custody. In a statement shared to social media, the Sheriff's Office confirmed Sophie has been located in a foreign country and is in protective custody as arrangements are being made for her safe return to her family.
I think when the U.S. Marshals busted into where their little bodega in Mexico, I imagine she figured out then nothing, you know, her dad had been lying to her.
Family in the United States. The statement also noted that Sophie's father, who told the Daily Mail in August that he was willing to go to jail to protect the daughter he was accused of taking, is in custody on a felony warrant for interference with child custody. The department, which did not specifically identify which country Sophie had been found in, stated the U.S. government is working on the extradition of Long back to Collin County, Texas. Many months of determined work by my deputies, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the U.S. Marshals paid off this morning. We are so happy that Sophie is safe, Collin County Sheriff Jim Skinner said.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was horrible. They arrested him. He's in custody. It was bad. I mean, it was really bad. Okay, I just lost what I was going to put up. Let me put this up real quick to show you how it ended. Authorities say Sophie Long found in a foreign country, Michael Long in custody. Missing 11-year-old Sophie Long is set to be returned home to Collin County after she was found in a foreign country. Now, before I get to that, Michael has zero. Hold on. Yeah, see, this is the reason I like to compare cases, because I know you guys have a lot of stuff going on. So the Cassini case, Wally and her two sons have absolutely nothing to do with Sophie's case. I'm just comparing two different cases of parental alienation. I did not mean to confuse anybody. And yes, Sophie is gorgeous. Her non-custodial father, because he lost custody, and they said, you have to return Sophie, but he ran to Mexico. Michael Long was taken into custody. The Collin County Sheriff's Office said Sophie is now in protective custody and set for a safe return to her family. It didn't go that smooth because she had to have a lot. Sophie had to have a lot of deep psychological therapy in order to be safely returned to her mother. Okay? Just like the Cassini, Wally Cassini's boys are going to have a lot of psychological therapy in order to be returned safely to their mother. All right? Sophie was reported missing earlier this year, and according to the missing persons report from Department of Public Safety in Texas, she was taken by her father, Michael, and they could have been headed to Argentina or Mexico. I think he was going to go to Argentina. Holly, thank you so much. New rabbit hole unlocked. Thanks, Brooks. Oh, there's a lot. And I will do a show just for you guys. V. Oakley. No, that's my fault, V. Sophie was reported missing earlier this year, and according to the missing persons report, she was taken by her father, again, Argentina. Okay, what is Michael doing now? Well, he's got a new girlfriend. Yes, he does. There they are. Mike has a new girlfriend. She's just off her rocker as him. She's living with him and his parents. He's claiming Sophie is dead. Okay? He is. There we go. I got to pull this up a different way. I can't see it on that screen. I got to be able to see it bigger. He said, just so everyone can see, I'm not crazy, LOL. Same town, same name, same style, same nose and neck. Heather goes, yep, that's Sophie. She's no longer with us. Please shut the fuck up. Then it says, and you wanted to bring that man around my daughter. So I'm not sure who Heather is. And then there is Michael. Okay, there's another one. This is Michael replying. Something tells me that's entirely true. By the way, I got verification this morning that Sophie is alive and well. Okay, that's not Michael, that's Heather. Michael says, laughing my ass off, okay, I have the drug test to prove it. Let me know when you want to see it. Frankly, I don't give a fuck, but I know it's true. And, oh, did you? Please show me. I love when people have risen from the dead. Can I please see? LOL. Do you need a cover-up for cocaine, or I don't have any, and I don't know where to get it? Maybe Lauren can help you and find some. Again, I would like to see this verification, please. Thank you. So he's telling these people that Sophie is no longer with us. He's still a sick person. He needs to be in a mental institution. V said, can I ask what the father of the two boys' name is? I can't find his name. And don't think I didn't look. He's a lowlife. Michael is a lowlife. And any of these people that alienate their children from another parent for no good reason other than just getting back, it should be a crime. It really should be. It is sick. It puts permanent scars on the children. Look, it's tough enough to see, mom and dad not together. Okay? That is hard enough. But when all the name calling and you're not seeing that loser this weekend, or the dad going, oh, there she goes in the child support mobile. Oh, I see she's got another boyfriend. No. And then they start really getting mad. They start really getting mad out of jealousy, resentment. Things didn't go their way. Sometimes it gets so toxic, it gets to things like this, where Kelly Long, her life was in danger. You have this beautiful mother, her son Matthew, and her boyfriend their lives were ruined, turned upside down. It's going to take them quite a while to rebuild from this dude telling his boys to tell the authorities that they were being SA'd and it was filmed. Well, she's been exonerated. Kelly, in the Sophie Long case, is trying to rebuild her life. And it's disgusting. Their obsession with ruining their ex's lives consume them to the point that they ruin their children's lives. Holly said, my sister-in-law continuously put her daughter's dad down all day, every day. Her daughter committed. She unalived herself. I really hope that Sophie Long, if that's even her last name now, doesn't blame herself or feel any guilt. I hope that this beautiful woman's two boys do not blame themselves when they know They know these things didn't happen. But I know this happened. Somebody, Supersonic Devin, got a Crime Lines and Lies membership. That's a good way to start Taco Tuesday. It's horrible, and it should be a crime. Now, I don't know how they would prosecute it. I don't know how they would prove it, but it should be a crime. If they're smart enough to figure out that the kids weren't abused and they made it up and they were brainwashed, then they're smart enough to figure out that an adult brainwashed them. You know, that's the truth. They are smart enough to figure out through interviews and basically the same thing, only in reverse they did with the kids, because you're dealing with an adult. They can figure it out. And it should be prosecuted, and it should be handled in a court of law, and they should pay for what they did to their ex and to their children, because their children's scars won't go away, and they'll come back in adulthood. They always do. I'm telling you, they always do. Because the whole 80s Dr. Spock, kids are resilient and they forget. Yeah, they forget until they're about 25, 30, 35, and then it comes back like a MFer. It's horrible what these people do. And those kids have those sexual images with their mother, their mother's boyfriend, and their half brother in their head for the rest of their life. That's how disgusting these people are. I'm telling you. That's how disgusting they are. So if you want, I will work on a case for Michael Long, and I'll go back through that. I'll tell you what, it's a whopper. You won't believe all the shit he did, and you're going to be very surprised at the YouTubers that helped him. One is a fan favorite, Annie Elise. Now, I believe she learned a lot from what she went through in that. You're not going to find a stitch on her channel about Michael Long, as far as I know, because Kelly was going to sue her. The Glairer, as far as I know, still says that these things happen. He's sticking with his story. He's sticking with Michael. Last I heard. I could be wrong. The Dad Bod podcast, he was right there for Michael all the time. All Kelly had was Critical K, because I brought her in. Big mistake on my part. And our group, the Long Hoax. Now, as time went on, people started making groups against Michael. But that's when it was safe to make them. And if you want to look at that group, I'll find it real quick. The Long Hoax. Here it is. Copy. And there's tons of information in there. I suggest if you want to deep dive that case, you go to it's going to be confusing, but you scroll all the way down. Okay? You're going to see a lot of me in there. A lot of me. And we have a playlist for parental alienation. Let me find it. Here it is. Just put it together today. Oh, no, it's hang on. Parental alienation. Well, where's the show from today? Brooks, you fucking idiot. Saved a playlist. Okay, now it's in there. Because I'm going to keep them all together. Because fortunately, we don't have that many cases that get that out of hand that we have to talk about. So there's the playlist. Whew. Whew. It's right there, baby. I put it in there. Probably because I just made it this morning. Okay, well, you guys are the best, and I'll start working on that Michael Long show for you. And you guys, I mean, this is something that's done and solved, and I don't do a lot of those cases. I kind of do ongoing cases, you know, but I really wanted to bring attention to this because people are still, you know, side-eyeing this woman, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm friends with her on Facebook now, invited her to come on, and just, I support her. You don't have to, but I support her. And hopefully True Crime Beat does a show today or sometime a video. And I wish you a blessed Tuesday. We might have a show today at noon. We'll see, because it's kind of in the works. And I got to figure out some stuff, you know. And so either way, we'll have a show at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'll see you in Discord, and, much love. You guys are the absolute best. Well, hold on. Junebug, have a good day. Today is my son's 21st birthday. Well, you know what that means around here. It's on CL. Happy birthday.